Welcome to Margins and Mandates, the show where plays, pivots, and pressure-tested leadership take center stage. I'm your host, Jeff Lortz, former operator, advisor, and founder of the Agile Operator. Today I'm joined by Ryan De La Parra. He's head of global partner marketing at Nasuni, a leading hybrid cloud storage provider. Ryan is a seasoned marketing leader with over 16 years of experience in partner ecosystem strategy, demand generation, and revenue-driving programs across the tech sector in North America and EMEA. In his current role at Nasuni, he leads high-performing teams responsible for developing and executing Nasuni's global go-to-market strategies with tiered channel partners, global solution integrators, and hyperscalers like AWS, Microsoft, and Google Cloud. In this episode, Ryan and I discuss marketing in a channel-only sales strategy. We talk about transitioning from partner fulfillment to co-sell models, the company's everyone owns pipeline culture, and then strategies for unlocking growth through scaling partner communities. Let's get into it. Ryan, welcome to Margins and Mandates podcast. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Looking forward to the weekend. I bet Friday afternoon.
Yep. It's going to be a little thundery on Saturday, but we have some sunshine ahead on Sunday, so excited for that.
Get out on the golf course. Beautiful. I'm going to try to do the same thing.
That's the plan.
So let's kick this thing off. Tell me a little bit about Nasuni first.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So Nasuni stands for NAS Unified. Contrary to popular belief, we are not a sushi company. So we manage unstructured file data. Essentially, we are a file data platform that sits on top of object storage in the cloud. So we utilize AWS S3, Azure Blob Storage, object storage, and we are the file platform that sits on top of that, managing unstructured files for companies. Typically in the space of 50 terabytes plus in multiple sites is where you're going to start seeing the economics of scale with our solution.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it as a Azure file on steroids.
Okay. And how big is the company?
We are currently at about 770-ish employees, I believe, in that 700 range, and crossed about 150, 160 million ARR last year. There's a momentum release that we put out, but we're still climbing. So,
and I think you mentioned that you're private equity owned as well.
Correct. Yes, Vista Equity Partners took a major stake in us last September. KKR, TCV as well. It's a syndicate buy. We were valuated at about 1.2 billion valuation back September. So we're very happy to have them behind us and have that belief behind our solution.
Yeah, those are some big names, which, is good news and bad news sometimes.
Yeah, it's all good news.
It's all good news. Good,
yes.
Good. Glad to hear that. So tell me about your role.
My role is the head of global partner marketing. So I manage all the go-to-market efforts for what we define as alliances and partners. Sorry, alliances and channel, which we have the umbrella of partners. So alliances are what I just mentioned prior, AWS, Microsoft, and Google. And then our channels are the VARs, DMRs, GSIs, SIs. So all the partner program, partner portal for those guys, and then all the joint co-sales with Microsoft and AWS, field events with Microsoft, AWS, marketing collateral, you name it, demand generation, anything that revolves around that partner marketing aspect with those two pillars falls under my purview.
And tell me about your team.
My team is designed as a support system for both of those functions. So I have a partner marketing manager covering the VAR community. Globally, we have some people out in EMEA managing the EMEA partners. We're looking to pick up some Microsoft support. I manage AWS and Google. So we have people and individuals that support all the alliances and the hyperscalers and the VARs at our company. They're all very important to us.
And your go-to-market then is 100% either through alliances or VARs, or do you have
Correct.
any kind of direct sales?
Yeah, we're a channel-only company, so we do not have any direct sales. We never have, actually. We've always been a channel-focused company. Early in our career, as we were building, I've been here for about 6 years. Partners were the routes to market, but as we evolved and grown and as we are scaling, there's a massive need to really lean on the partners to get that scale that we're looking for. in the market currently. So yeah, we do not take any deals direct. We go through all of our VARs, our DMRs, our GSIs, our MSPs, utilize them and in a very tight co-sell motion currently.
Okay. And that's a different model slightly than where you started from the standpoint of how you engage with partners, right? It was more
Yeah, correct.
fulfillment in the past, and now you're kind of pivoting to a co-sell model.
Yeah, absolutely. Teasing that out a little bit, but that's 100% true. That was my when I came to this company, I came from a partner. So I came from a VAR or NSP located in Merrimack, New Hampshire called PC Connection. I was there for
Mhm.
about 10 years. So did a whole lot of work with those guys, managing the HP account there, and then I managed the Dell EMC portfolio for those people there. And then I came to Nasuni, and when I entered, it was I had this concept of like what it looks like to be a partner first company in my head, and and I was like, okay, well, we really utilize them in this fulfillment motion. It was
Mm.
all right, we found a deal, we built the deal, and okay, let's sell it through a partner, and that's all well and good, but it can't be just all that. So in my mind, it was almost a partner fulfillment motion that we were having at our company. And over the years, over the 6 years, I just have been just blown away with the growth of the mindset of being in that co-sell motion, that co-sell seat with the partners, finding the deals together, building the deals together. And that's a lot of what me and my team do is fostering that relationship, that community amongst the VAR community, making sure we have a partner program that is efficient, that is built to make sure that they are capturing the economics of scale as much as we are. So it's all really a big tight network that we're building out here.
So the role of partner marketing changes pretty dramatically, right, through that pivot.
Oh, yeah, always. Partner marketing. I have a lot of peers in my network that we all kind of we'll get together and we'll chat. And I've been to community events, and I know a lot of other directors of partner marketing who are out there, and we all kind of joke that partner marketing is a unique function, and it's interesting because we just really sit on the threshold of multiple different organizations between sales, between partner, between marketing. Just a really jack of all trades role.
Yeah, and I think if you go across different organizations, and probably this is true with your peers, it's not always called partner marketing, right? Because it's
Yeah.
not really that much, correlated to the sort of the typical marketing function, right? It's really an alliances or partner management team versus actual partner marketing. And you probably actually have marketing people that just do marketing, right, on your partner marketing team.
We have a whole entire global demand organization that I sit along with. My function is really just a hand-in-hand motion with that organization.
Okay.
We have an awareness marketing organization as well at our company. And then we have the partner management team, we have the sales team, we have the commercial, the enterprise team. Realistically, partner marketing touches all of those. And I utilize a lot of the strategies that comes from our global demand center, our growth marketing, and then pivot that into a partner lensed campaign. So make sure that our priorities as a company, as an Nasuni, align with the priorities that, let's say, CDW or Trace3 or AWS or Microsoft all have. Each
Hmm.
one of them have their own set of priorities. And the secret sauce realistically is merging your priorities with their priorities so you guys come up with a co-sell set.
And how is your team measured in that sort of ecosystem?
Yeah, it's a combination of MBOs and obviously KPIs. So you gotta track the hard details. Data is everything. So you want to pay attention to, how much revenue you're generating, how much pipeline you're generating. Like those are like the details that you want to stick into. But then there's also other tracking metrics that we pay attention to, such as partner engagement, how many logins you're getting at your portal, how many campaigns are these partners accessing in your partner portal, how many deal regs are starting to flow. Like
Hmm.
that's all conceptual stuff that we need to be paying attention to. The growth of our partners, how many partners are in our top tier? How does that compare year over year? How many partners are in our bottom tier that are moving up through our tiers? So these are all metrics, again, data-oriented metrics that we're all competent and paying attention to here.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty comprehensive, right? I mean, I think you talk to most guys in your position and they're really just comped on registrations. Like, just show me the money. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
where are the leads coming in and who's driving them, right? And then they more or less have a pretty simple formula, pump more dollars and energy into the
Yeah.
partners that are doing the best, right? I mean,
Yeah.
You think you guys are probably, sounds like you're more thoughtful than that, right? And more programmatic, right?
Oh,
About
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of the things that I love here in Nasuni is that, you have that larger view. It's not just so honed in on that, like, show me the one-to-one number, right? Like there's so many outlying factors that go into a healthy partner program besides just like the revenue. Most partner programs that you're going to find in this day and age are, I would say, leaning more towards one or the other, but they're starting to merge into this value and volume mindset, right? Where you have like, all right, here's the value of a partner. They might not be pumping out the most amount of revenue, but they have a practice that fits into what we're trying to accomplish. And they are able to get us into that one specific area and that one specific deal because of that value that they bring. And then you have the volume players, right? Like they just understand how to just rinse, repeat these micro sales over and over and over again. Both have very big spots and are very important to a healthy partner program. But you can't just sit there and just be like, all right, give me the ones that are just pumping out the biggest revenue because that's not that you're going to isolate yourself if you do that.
Yep. No, it makes total sense. And what do you see as your biggest challenges right now in kind of growing your volume of pipeline and your organization?
Yeah, for us specifically at Nasuni, it is just the brand name, right? When
Huh.
I got here, we were about 100 employees, and man, I think we were about 35 million ARR. So over the past 6 years, we've grown a lot. When I first showed up, it was very bare bones, and it was just scrapping and trying to find the right players to work with and the right motions to do. We're much well known now, and especially with Vista at our back and believing in us and giving us that valuation, a lot of people turned their heads and said, "Oh wow, look at Nasuni and look at what they're doing." We have an extremely happy customer base,
Mhm.
and they are just, that is one of the things that energizes me the most. But where we're coming up to with the your question was what's the problem with scale? Like what is that like where are we running into? What we're coming up against is realistically just getting that name bigger into the market, right? So the partners that we're working with know us, but they know us in very small isolated pockets. So one partner who is in the West Coast and their California sales department is just a huge Nasuni advocate, but their East Coast department doesn't even know us, right? So that's where we're running into, and that's our next like challenge. And one of my next challenges personally is scaling out Nasuni into that each one of our partners at a national scale, at a global scale. So we want the successes of the California sales department to be the successes of the East Coast sales department and so on and so forth. That's our next step and that's our next challenge and just kind of scaling out.
And what's your best tactic, right, to accomplishing that? I mean, it sounds like it's like hand-to-hand combat, right? You just got to get out there and try to
Yeah, it
give
really
them.
much is hand-to-hand combat currently. But it can't always be hand-to-hand combat. You
Yeah.
can't scale with hand-to-hand combat, right? Like it's what got us here. What got us here will not get us there. That is a statement that I've heard before. Our president has said that in the past. It is extremely true.
Mhm.
And I do believe in that. So we got here successfully based off of that hand-to-hand combat. Now we need to scale. Now we need to listen to our partners and hear what they need from us. Like that is the number one thing that I think a lot of companies in our stage need to adapt to, right? Like the hand-to-hand combat got us here. We knew what we were doing and we knew we need to do to get us here. But from here, we need to listen to our partners. We need to hear how do we adjust our partner program to make it beneficial to them? How are we fitting into what their priorities are in market for the next year? Like these are the things that we now as a company need to work and bring our success to in their success and merge them together into that true co-sell motion.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, I think you mentioned when we first met, that your CEO has a mandate that everybody owns pipeline. Is
Yeah, yeah.
so what does that mean practically in sort of the culture of the company?
Yeah, everybody owns pipeline is a mantra that we have had at this company for quite some time, and it's hung up on posters in our headquarters. It's
Nice.
in murals on the wall. It is not just a statement that was said once and people are like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a belief, right? And it really fundamentally goes down into that ripple effect thought process. Everything that you do has an effect on pipeline, regardless of where you are.
Mm.
You're sitting in HR and you're concerned about the employee happiness. Employee happiness is what drives pipeline. You're in engineering and you're building a product. Product is what the sellers need. The sellers need that to build the pipeline. Like everyone touches pipeline in some way, shape, or form. So that statement really goes down into what am I doing in my day to day that is helping pipeline? And it makes you think like, okay, I have stake in this company. I have stake in the future of this company. What I'm doing, even though it's in this one specific job function, has that ripple effect across the organization. And everybody at this company owning pipeline and believing that they own pipeline truly is what I think is that heartbeat that gets us to where we are and is guiding us further and further.
So do you go so far as to like, publicize across the entire company, like what the pipeline metrics are on a week to week basis? So how do people know
Yeah.
they're impacting pipeline?
Yeah, we have a very big belief at Nasuni that transparency is one of our core pillars actually. If you look at our
Mhm.
values, our Nasuni values, we have five values, and transparency is a value that is been held very near and dear to leadership at our company. We've had a couple leaders come and go at our company over the 6 years that I've been here, and every leader that comes in holds that belief. So I believe that Nasuni does a very good job at making sure that as we grow and as we scale out, they are grabbing the like-minded individuals that believe in our core values. So those core values don't change. We got here because of those values, and we're going to get there because of those values. So we have town halls where our leadership will get up and they'll talk, obviously not into the nitty-gritties, but like everyone feels like they have their finger on the heartbeat of what Nasuni is and what we're trying to accomplish.
Mhm.
I mentioned our customer base earlier. Very happy customers. We have user groups where we meet with our customers, hear from our customers. What can we be doing differently? What can we be changing? Feedback is key. But that is publicized at our company. We've had customers come to our revenue kickoff at the beginning of the year and speak about their experiences with Nasuni. So everyone at our company gets that finger on the pulse feeling, and it
Mhm.
makes them feel like they have that ownership, that
Yeah,
everyone owns pipeline, and there is transparency amongst leadership.
yeah. And everybody knows that everybody owns pipeline, which is the most
Oh
important.
yeah, everybody knows it.
Yeah, that's great. So when private equity got involved, right, in the company, how did things change? Or did
You
they?
know, you always hear the big scary stories of like, oh wow, private equity is coming in and everyone has their feelings on it. But it's been nothing but a great experience, honestly. With private equity comes the knowledge of multiple companies, right? Like they own a portfolio, and there are companies within their portfolio that do XYZ very good, right? And they may
Mhm.
not do ABC very good. But hey, we do ABC very good, but not XYZ very good. So that's the strength and the value behind private equity, honestly, is that you get to understand and learn where your growth areas are and the strength points are, and you can help others with your strength points and then receive help on your weak points. And that is just invaluable.
Yeah, I think you're involved with the cream of the crop, right, with Vista Equity.
I
Um,
believe that, yes,
yeah,
100%. They're
yeah,
great.
yeah. So my first PE role was with a Vista backed company. That was 7 or 8 years ago. I don't imagine things have changed that much in terms of like how they work with their portfolio companies, how they network
Yep.
their operating executives across the portfolio, the kind of people, right, that they bring in, right, to help support the operators across the different departments in the company. So they really are the best of the best, right, in my mind. Since then, I've worked for three other PEs, and even though looking back at Vista, I thought at the time it probably was a little bit overbearing. Now that I look back at it, it was really good, right? And I really kind of appreciate the quality, right, of the support that they gave us. Um, so yeah, that's great. I think the biggest challenge that most people have with PEs is they lack patience, right? In a lot of cases,
Yep.
right? They're working under a certain set of timeline assumptions, right?
Yeah.
For their exit. Do you feel that at all?
No, I mean, are the gates that we need to cross there? Yes. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that they don't exist because they do. But I think accountability, again, another Nasuni pillar that we stand on as far as value, is something that I think is very important. Beyond the transparency that we have, accountability is huge, right? And having the accountability and being held to it is another driving force, I think, amongst a lot of people who get motivated by accountability. And it's not like we're sitting here having these accountability gates put in on us without backing, right? Like I just mentioned earlier, like we have the backing and we have the know-how and the knowledge of what we are strong in, and we know where we need to grow, and we know how to ask for help, and we know how to get help. So to me, I think it was a great move, and I think it's one of those things that is just, I see the vision and I see the future and I see the growth, and it's all there, and having the belief system behind you is massive, and it's been a great trip. So we're coming up on the year anniversary. September, like I said, is when that came through, I believe August September timeframe. So yeah, we're it's been a fun journey.
Good. Um, no conversation like this would be complete unless we talked about artificial intelligence. Um,
Oh yeah.
so I'd love to hear how Nasuni, just in general, right, is thinking about artificial intelligence, and then maybe more specifically, you for
Yeah.
you and your team, where are the levers for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, AI is everywhere, right? I think I could do a whole nother 2 hour podcast on AI. I love it. I'm bought in. I'm a fan. Nasuni is also bought in, and Vesta actually as well. Like
Yeah.
most people, I think would be foolish to not buy into it. We've established the fact that it's not a hype cycle. It's not fluffy. It's reality. It's the future. It's where we're going. It is where companies need to go and embrace in order to grow. So, Nasuni is approaching it in a certain way where I think having an idea of what you want to accomplish with it, right? There's so much noise out there. You need to figure out where the news is, right? And figure out what levers am I going to pull to get the most value? So we're approaching it in a way where we have a company-wide RAG bot that we've developed that we can utilize internally. We have department-specific AI that can assist and help. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Cursor. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Perplexity or ChatGPT. But these are all different tools that different departments could utilize. So somebody in marketing wouldn't use Cursor, but somebody in engineering would, and vice versa. Somebody in engineering might not need that marketing level deep research that Perplexity can give. So understanding which tools are going to assist which departments in the correct way is something that I think a lot of companies need to get their heads around and understand. And then lean on the tools that your internal software programs have, because like I said, AI is everywhere. So Salesforce has AI, Slack has AI, Outlook has Copilot. AI is everywhere. So figure out which one of your tools you want to pull the levers on and increase and utilize their AI that they are providing to you, and then have that all point towards your North Star of what you're trying to accomplish with AI.
So from a controls perspective, are there sort of guardrails in place internally, right, to
Yep.
sort of
Yep.
prevent? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that falls under our CIO and our CISO, who reports to our CIO. And they are the ones who are leading the charge on the AI mandate. They have our CIO is fantastic. He has done this at another company prior. He's fairly new, has come in, I think about 3, 4 months ago. And has already kind of like AI has been around for a little bit of time, has already kind of installed workflows and processes at this other company. And so he's got a little playbook and he's using his playbook, and I'm watching the benefits of it as it rolls out month after month, and it's great. So I think having your department, your CIO, your CISO have their ideation and control over that is going to be key, because not only are they able to implement the tools the correct way into the company, they're also able to control the security metrics around it, like what can and cannot be done, what should we allow for and what should we not allow for. I think the more controls you put on AI and the more controls you put on this, the less value you're going to see out of it. So understand where your barriers are and then work within those parameters. But don't put too many constraints on your employees, because then you're just negating the value of AI, right?
Yeah, I mean that really is the trick, right? Is finding that balance, and I think that's where most organizations are challenged today. Is they want to get the most out of it without breaking anything. And
Yeah. Yeah.
and then as a software provider, you can either be a competitor of AI or you can be a provider, right?
Yeah.
And
AI is
that's
happening whether you like it or not,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
you better start liking
yeah.
it.
And just for the record, Vista was talking about AI 8 or 9 years ago, and they were forcing us to have AI initiatives, within our portco. So that's how far ahead of the curve they are.
Oh yeah, they're always one step ahead.
Yep, yep, for sure. So Ryan, just one last question about your
Sure.
role in partner marketing. So if you had another dollar to spend on your marketing efforts, what would you spend it on?
Oh, man, you're gonna leave me on a hard one. I want to spend it on all the things, right? Okay. I think my answer to this is going to be unique to where I am and where Nasuni is personally. I think the dollar to spend for me is going to be on scaling out the partner community. We don't have currently a partner advisory board. And it's not because we can't have one. It's because we just haven't gotten to that point where we need one. But we are approaching that point where our partners are starting to utilize us more. We're starting to get into more VARs. We have a partner program that we just launched last July that for the very first time that is now 1 year in, almost coming up on 1 year running. So now we have the foundations of what the big boys look like, right? Like the Dell EMCs and the HPs of the world. Um, I want to scale that out. I want to hear from the partners that are utilizing Nasuni, that are selling Nasuni, that are utilizing our tech back in our sales enablement that we have. I want to hear from them, and I want to hear from them more and more. I want to build out a community, an advisory board. I want to have that scale. I think we're at that point where we can start pulling in the friendlies and start having localized meetings in the East Coast and the West Coast, in EMEA, in London.
Mm.
So we are starting to have those pockets pop up, but I really want to put a mesh network on the globe and just really pull that partner community tighter together. So that's where I would spend my money currently.
Yeah, no, that's great. It makes sense. I mean, wherever you can find levers, right? To unlock the growth that are, I'm sure, at the top of the list of your investors' expectations. So,
Yeah.
listen, Brian, it was great chatting with you. You've obviously got your hands full, but in a great spot. Good luck to you and your company. Love to have you back on the pod a year from now and see how you're doing.
Yeah, I would love to be on it. Thanks for having me, Jeff.
All right, thanks, Ryan.
All right.